Welcome to Sailing with Lucy from sunny Pittwater, Sydney. If you've been following our channel for the past 4 years, then you'll know that 90% of the sailing life is spent getting the boat ready to sail, troubleshooting things that break down, and maintaining those that haven't, often in awkward confined spaces. But that's the price we sailors pay for that awesome 10% of the time when the adventurous sailing is just pure magic. But there is an upside to the seemingly endless boat jobs. You're always acquiring new skills. In this video, Jim takes on the job of a refrigeration mechanic to get our fridge and freezer shipshape before we sail north. And we tell you something about Lucy that might just interest you. Hi everyone, it's 30 degrees today and bikini weather in the backyard. So what are you up to, Jimmy?
I'm replacing the fridge thermostat on the boat. So this is the one that I've taken out. Unfortunately, this is only 2 years old. The original one lasted about 15 or 18 years, but this replacement that we put in a couple of years ago has already failed through corrosion. There was a lot of corrosion powder lying underneath this in its case, which indicates to me that's why it stopped working. It's basically stuck into the on position. So I'm going to replace that with a little microcomputer so you can program quite easily the compressor cut-in temperature and the cut-out temperature. So that means you can optimize the energy that's going into keeping the eutectic fluid down to its operating temperature and not have it unnecessarily cycling on and off. So I'm hoping by doing this we'll be able to see the temperature very easily every time we open the fridge, but also we'll be able to use less power running it. We'll see how it goes. I mean, this is quite a sophisticated little bit of gear. It also has defrost settings if you've got a freezer that does defrost, all sorts of stuff. It doesn't hurt to have sophisticated control over your fridges and freezers, as long as it's reliable. Insofar as, number one, you manage your energy draw better. Number two, food safety, so you know what temperature you're running and that the food's safe. And number three, it's good if you can actually change it depending on what you're doing with the fridge. Now, this fridge, the eutectic fluid, is optimized for refrigeration, not for freezing. If we want to keep it just as a bar fridge, which we sometimes do when we have the extra fridge on the boat, we can just change the settings quite quickly so that we're using less energy. Probe, and that's it.
Jimmy?
Unscrewing the fan to see which wires control it. Okay, so as I thought, there's a blue wire here and it's not connected. I was assuming that it was the negative for the fan that should be screwed to this, but I just needed to see where it went. So now I've got to put a screw back in this.
This is how I film, sitting on the floor. It was 30 degrees inside the boat, so I just had to get out and get a bit of fresh air. And look who came to say hello.
So I've just connected the thermostat, send and receive together so that the compressor runs, and I'm just going to check the 12 volt power supply is okay. So yeah, we got 12 volts there, and if I close the door, the fan starts, so that's good. I've got to basically connect the 12 volt power supply, the negative and the positive, to the microprocessor, the terminals 11 and 12. It's not polarity sensitive, so that doesn't matter. You got that?
Yep, got it.
Just stripping the insulation off the wire, and I'm going to solder it so that I get a good connection. The biggest problem with fridges is generally the power supply. This is the thermostat send and receive. If I connect this together, it should start the compressor.
There it goes.
Yeah. Okay. So that's good.
Did the world wake up on the wrong side of bed? Sleepy-eyed with a red-hot pounding head. I'm surprised that we still managed to circle the sun. We should all be dead and buried with the damage we've done.
I just got to bring the 12 volt power supply through. I've got to bring it from the fridge. Yeah, so I'm going to have to get cable, and I've got to pull the fridge out to get it through. To do that.
Start out being big, but with all boat jobs, it ends up being big.
Bigger than Ben-Hur.
I think I've heard that before.
Bigger than Ben-Hur.
Today we're going to Lucy's vet, Dr. Prendergast. He's going to do a health check, a teeter test, and hopefully everything will be a-okay. A teeter test is a laboratory evaluation of your dog's immunity. We've found a wonderful vet who does the testing right in his practice, and he is open to a more natural approach to animal health. So cute, Lucy. Do you like the pussycat? Yes, I know. So that's it. In a couple of days, we'll find out if she's immune, and if she's not, we'll come back for a booster. We took this opportunity to ask Peter about what was safe to give Lucy in case she got seasick or stressed, and Peter told us that 4 milligrams of ondansetron up to 3 times a day is safe. It's prescription only in Australia, so you should check with your vet. It was time to get back onto the boat and finish the job we started. That's Nepenthe, our first boat. She's been through some hardship, but now she has a new owner and she's getting some tender loving care, which is great to see. I don't think we ever stop loving and caring about the boats we've owned. So this is the boat today. Time to get some done.
What we're doing is getting shit done.
So what's on the job sheet today?
Well, I'm hoping to finish this digital thermostat for today, so I've done most of the hard work, and I've actually fed a cable through from the back of the nav panel to around the fridge compressor. So what I've done here is I've just split the power supply for the positive. So I've got the 12 volt coming from the fuse to the compressor, and then from the compressor I'll join this up to the thermostat, and we'll have a 12 volt supply. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare the ends of this 2-core cable to connect up with the positive and negative down near the compressor for a power supply, and the other end I'll leave unprepared, and I'll just hook it up. I'll just connect it to this and pull it through.
Yep.
Then it should be quite easy to pull it round through to into the fridge through here.
Okay.
Wiring a go-go.
So I've now got to connect this to that positive and the negative to that negative, and just continue it round to the fridge.
Wire strippers.
I'm a doctor, not an electrician.
Sorry. The thing with the green grip.
Got it.
The wire in my left hand.
The black one.
My left hand.
That's your left hand.
Sorry, the other wire.
The red one.
Yes, the red one in my right hand.
Just checking.
So this is the power supply here that goes to the compressor, and all we've done is we've added another wire to come off the pin and go back to the thermostat. So we can hook these up now. This is actually a cooling fan for the battery bank. I've just got to hook up this bellows back up to it, and that's back in business, and now we can close this up.
What are you doing now?
I've got to pass it through the back here.
Once again, I'm on the floor. Yep, here it comes.
Got to feed it through the insulation. This fridge is encapsulated in insulation and fiberglass. We did that about 3 years ago. It used to just have insulation, but we ended up ripping that off, putting a more modern, more efficient insulation and fiberglassing over it to encapsulate the back of the fridge so that you don't get condensation. That's worked well. It's nice.
Now drawer can go back in.
Yeah. Okay. I spoke to the supplier and they said it's okay actually fitting this inside the fridge. I want to get the actual sensor tucked away against the eutectic plate right up there. So it'll be away from the front of the fridge, and I think that'll be a good spot for it. Just got to now connect up the power supply and we're in business. What we have essentially here is 12 volt power supply, the temperature sensor, the black wire, and over here we have the thermostat control going back to the compressor. So once this little machine decides to turn the compressor on, it bridges these two wires inside and makes it a continuous circuit, and the compressor starts. That's basically how it works. 1, 2.
So you've programmed it?
Yep, you've just got to press the various set and up and down buttons till you find the function that you want to change. I decided to make it 0 degrees Celsius cut-in temp and -8 degrees Celsius cut-out temp to try and get the full benefit of the eutectic freeze-thaw effect. I'll see how we go, because at the end of the day, the object is to maintain the fridge temperature in the range of about 0 to maybe 3 or 4 degrees max. We'll monitor the actual box temperature at the front using this medical fridge temperature controller. We always just stick onto the wall of the fridge near the front, and we'll just see how it works with different settings and try and optimize it. So you can see the temperature of the plate's already come down to 22 degrees. Let's see how we go.
Done. Since the fridge took less time than expected, Jim's going to try to change the freezer compressor cooling fan before the tender finishes today.
I'm not sure how the cover plate comes off on the motor, so I'm going to give it a go, start pulling it apart and see how it goes. So it's an Aussie fridge system. It's been running flawlessly for about, must be close to 15 years. Hasn't missed a beat. I'm just going to replace the computer fan. It's getting a little bit noisy, as they tend to do over many years of use, so that's a pretty easy fix. Just got to work out how to get the cover off. Looks like this cover continues down to the front as one piece. I can't get to the point where the computer fan is actually soldered onto a terminal, so I'm going to have to cut the wire and join it. I'm going to solder them together. That's it. That's it.
You want to turn it on and see if it works?
Don't bother me about the details. It's in.
Here it comes. Yay!
I don't know about you, but I take comfort in that.
I've done a lot of screwing today. Inside temperature, say. So the eutectic plate is 1 degree C.
It's pretty good.
But the fridge hasn't come down yet. The fridge is still cooling.
Better get the tender.
I'll just leave it. We've had a real heat wave the last few days. Daytime temperatures have been around the mid 30 degrees Celsius. So I'm going out to Kikamalu to check if the eutectic plate settings are keeping the fridge cabinet at a safe temperature. Fingers crossed. So we've got a temperature of 2.6 inside the cabinet, and the boat interior is about 25 degrees Celsius. The next step will be to have a look at that Inkbird device and see if we can extract the history of the fridge temperature inside the cabinet over the last few days and see how that went. The Inkbird is a temperature and humidity smart sensor. They're fairly inexpensive, and you just download the app to your Android or iPhone to set it up using Bluetooth. You can name the appliance or location, adjust the measurement time intervals, calibrate the sensors and set up alarms. It's a pretty big safety feature, especially if you're going to be away from the boat and want to ensure the freezer hasn't defrosted and then refrozen food. The sensor records a temperature graph and also a bar chart that shows the distribution and frequency of specific temperatures. In our case, the graph for Friday from 8 AM to 1:30 PM shows a cabinet temperature range of about 0.5 degrees Celsius to 3 degrees Celsius, with most of the readings being within the 1 to 2 degree range. I was happy with that, considering how hot it was. I'm controlling the cabinet temperature by setting the temperature the eutectic mixture is frozen to, which in this case is set to minus 12 degrees Celsius, and then allowed to thaw to, which in this case is minus 4 degrees Celsius.
Thank you so much for watching, for liking, subscribing to our videos and joining our YouTube family. If you hit the notification button, YouTube will always alert you when we bring a new video out. Also, your comments help us to get to know you and inspires us to keep sharing our lives with you. Finally, we hope wherever you are in the world today that you will feel loved and safe. And don't forget to keep your tail wagging. Come on, Lucy. Lucy!